All right, it has become the prank phone call heard around the world. You know what? The Sanders family, the whole family, is the gift that keeps giving in my business. They really are. Here's the setup, and then we're going to need to debate. I assume there's going to be differences here. That's cool. So we will debate the very, very serious sentence that's been handed down. First off, here you go. His name is Jax Ulrich. Jax is almost a household name at this point. Jax used his dad's iPad to get Shedeur Sanders' phone number. Another person that was with Jax, some other dude. It's exactly what you would think it would look like, some neck-bearded 21-year-old dudes. Another person with Jax, according to Yahoo Sports, called Sanders, pretended to be the New Orleans Saints general manager, Mickey Loomis. He told Sanders he was about to be drafted by the franchise. Now, you should know that they also called some other people. Well, we don't know yet that these are the same two guys that called some other potential prospects. That would be Colts tight end Tyler Warren and quarterback Kyle McCord from Syracuse, who were also among the prospects to receive prank calls before going to the Eagles in the 6th round. The conversation went like this with the prank call to Shedeur Sanders. There's a real serious reason why I'm bringing this up now. Call goes to Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders answers, "It's Mickey Loomis here, GM of the Saints. Been waiting on you," Shedeur Sanders says. "It's been a long wait, man. We're going to take you with our next pick right here, man," the person on the phone says. "Yes, sir. Let's be legendary," Shedeur Sanders responds. Okay. Well, everyone freaked out. And the freak out has gone to a level I couldn't even see. It started with reaction. So this broke, I guess, a couple of days ago. You know, as the draft, again, the Sanders family really is the gift that keeps giving. You got to like this for my business. So the reactions to him dropping to the 5th round, blah, 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 that passes. And then the prank call becomes the next issue of the day. For example, just so you know how outraged people in my industry with a microphone in front of their face have been, and they got their wish in the end. They got their wish. If you wanted blood, and it sounds like they wanted blood from this prank call, they got it. This is the ESPN crew on First Take. It's led by Stephen A. Smith. And they absolutely went off on 21-year-old Jax Ulrich, who made the prank call.
So your dad is a defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. You go into his laptop computer and find a number for Shedeur Sanders. You prank call him. First of all, it was cruel and it was classless to Shedeur. It jeopardized your dad. What if the Atlanta Falcons didn't believe it was your dad, that it was just you? What if they had believed it was him? And I don't believe that for 1 second. I don't believe the defensive coordinator for the Falcons. I don't believe that man did. I don't believe he had anything to do with this. I think it would be unfair to accuse him of that. But what if the Falcons didn't believe him? What if the NFL didn't believe him? Your dad could have lost his job. And because you want to prank somebody, okay, and be cruel and insensitive, knowing what Shedeur must have been going through, you would be some privileged little brat that would do something like that and take joy out of somebody's misery like that at the expense of your father right now.
So it goes on. Let me just tell you, they got worked up. They were pissed. The whole crew. At one point, somebody says he needs to be slapped around. Something like that. Okay. So if that's how you want to react to this prank call, I guess you can. Just so you know, to put it in context, this is the reaction of Shedeur Sanders because he knew. He knew it was a prank call. Here he is sitting there waiting on the draft to take place. He's sitting there, I think it's with his brother. So he gets off the phone with the prank call, of which he figured out it was a prank call. And I'm sorry. I'm having a really difficult time getting that worked up that this is robbing a bank or murdering someone or, I don't know, choking a OnlyFans model or something like that. I'm having a hard time getting worked up because you know who wasn't worked up at all? You know who wasn't curled up in a ball crying as if his life had been taken from him? It was Shedeur Sanders, who knew it was a prank. Here's his reaction with his brother.
I thought that was a real person that called you, but it actually wasn't, was it?
No, I told you that was a specific phone number, not in my name, not in anything.
So you bought that phone just for the drive?
Boost Mobile shipped the phone just for the drive.
So how did they get
Nobody had the number.
That's what I'm saying.
The number was only in the email thread that the NFL sent out to only teams.
That's outrageous, bro. So the NFL leaked it, basically.
No, you can't say that. It could be one of their kids. It could be one of their kids that then seen the email and just took the number.
He figured it out. Okay, this is his reaction to the call. Oh my gosh, Jeff, this is the worst thing ever happened. We're supposed to be worked up. The dude figured it out. It was a prank. He knew it. It's pretty much a burner phone. Okay, that's his reaction. He's chatting with his brother. He doesn't sound like a guy who's been ruined by this horrific prank by a 21-year-old guy. But oh my gosh, ESPN and everybody with a microphone is flipping out about this. Was it mean? Yeah, I guess. Was it a pretty good prank? Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty funny. Is the guy a moron for videoing himself making the call? Yeah, he did that. He videoed himself making the call, which is a costly mistake, as you're about to find out. But he videoed himself making the call. Yes, he's a moron. Yes, he's a 21-year-old neck-bearded moron. But that's what morons do. That's what morons do in the social media age. They do stupid stuff, sometimes illegal stuff, not this, and then they video themselves to show everybody. Right? Remember, I don't know why I thought of this, but it's something, one thing about social media, it always outs stupid. It's amazing. Remember the people that would lick the ice cream containers in grocery stores and put them back, the container back in the freezer during the pandemic? Those idiots filmed themselves and they got caught and got tickets. So my take on this, settle down, seriously. You've got to be kidding me. It was a prank. Shedeur Sanders caught on. He was not bawling. He was not deceived. He was not freaking out. His life wasn't changed one bit because of this silly, stupid prank. Was it stupid? Yeah, sure it was. Did it embarrass his dad? Yes. Wait, it does get worse. But yeah, he embarrassed his dad. Here's an observation. It's not going to be taken very well. It's probably not the smartest move on my part, but my job is to be intellectually honest. It's not to suck up. It's probably not the smartest move with an ESPN sign above my head. Yeah, it was stupid. It was embarrassing. All those things. Right. We got it. No doubt about it. I think it was kind of a funny prank, but the wrong thing to do. But ESPN and everyone else who's flipping out about this, particularly ESPN with the loudest voice and the biggest audience, okay? They're outraged about this 21-year-old pranking a college star, a megastar. Did you hear any outrage like this? The screaming and yelling. By the way, that first take segment went on for 5 or 6 minutes, each person trying to outrage the next one of how pissed off they were, to the point that in the end, one of the hosts who just can't contain themselves from screaming about this 21-year-old kid said he needed to be slapped around. I didn't hear any outrage like that over their colleague, Shannon Sharpe, who's on a leave of absence after getting sued by a 19-year-old OnlyFans model for choking her. They didn't go off on that 60-year-old man like they did a 21-year-old goofball who pulled a prank that everyone knew was a prank. They screamed about how immoral this kid is, and he should be slapped around, and he's ruining people, and his dad, and blah, blah, blah. But I got crickets, still hear crickets about their colleague choking, allegedly, a 19-year-old woman. So I'm sorry, man. Give me a break. It was completely harmless. Get off the guy. But that's not how it's ending at all. If you wanted blood, if you wanted full-on attack, if you wanted to be as outraged as the ESPN crew, you got it. You got everything you want. Maybe more. I don't know. You want him to get the needle? Maybe. Maybe that's next. The kid went on, the 21-year-old who filmed himself with the prank, he went on to issue a statement, and the statement was so dramatic, in my opinion, overly dramatic, and didn't do any good in the end, that it sounds like a guy who, I don't know, choked a woman or robbed a bank, or he went on and on and on about how dumb he was and how sorry he is. I thought his statement was too much. I did. Thought it was way too much. I think all the reactions to this are way too much. But get ready for it. If this is what you wanted, you got it. This afternoon, it is reported by Yahoo Sports, the NFL came down hard on the Atlanta Falcons and defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich after his son prank called Shedeur Sanders during the 2025 NFL Draft. The league has fined the Falcons $250,000. Also fined Ulbrich $100,000 for the incident. I mean, by the sounds of the ESPN crew, again, crickets about other people who do far worse things, but I guess that's not enough. I mean, who do you want in prison? Exactly. Look, man, I'm sorry. What did the Falcons do? I missed that part. What did they do wrong? For that matter, what did his dad do? It's a burner phone, as Shedeur Sanders pointed out to everyone as he's laughing off the whole bit. Okay? The kid got it off his dad's laptop. It's not, they're not banking numbers. It's not Fort Knox. Are you kidding? $250,000 fine of the Falcons, and I'm waiting to hear what they did that was so wrong, and $100,000 to the coach, dad. What did he do wrong exactly? But I think it's outrageous. And let me give you an argument why I think it's outrageous. I think if we're trying to have some sort of moral compass to all this, I find this whole argument pretty disgusting in the context of people his coworker choked a 19-year-old. Okay, if you want to get pissed off about stuff, this doesn't seem like the right one to rage about. But let me talk about the NFL coming down on this. And you would say, well, Jeff, how is it they can do that? The NFL, this needs to be explained pretty regularly, I think. I don't know how this works into play, but I guess it treats teams and coaches the same as it would players. And the Players Association has an agreement that allows the commissioner's office, that's the commissioner, Roger Goodell, to have any sort of application of a conduct policy that he would like. He is judge and jury in all things discipline. You can appeal it and stuff like that, but in the end, it's if he says it's wrong and wants to fine you, then he can say it's wrong and wants to fine you, and that's precisely what happened here. Now, so there's no real fighting back to this. I think it's just incredibly silly. I think it's incredibly over the top. And let me give you an example of why I think this is outrageous, on top of what I think is fake moral outrage about this 21-year-old pulling a prank. Nobody's hurt. Okay? Shedeur Sanders wasn't even deceived. He knew exactly what it was. I don't know about the other guys, but this argument about some kind of horrific deception is just laughable. But for the NFL, okay, I think this is outrageous, and feel free to disagree. But the punishment handed down, I think, is completely ridiculous and over the top. Because the NFL, last time I checked, when some guy cheap shots another player, he's concussed. They don't see a $350,000 fine, typically. In fact, rarely does that happen. Rarely. I mean, they don't do this, and there's actual damage. And some cheap shot, head-to-head collision. Yes, it's illegal. Yes, the commissioner's office takes a look at it. Yes, they hand down fines sometimes. I don't remember the last $350,000 fine when a guy is knocked cold because of a head-to-head hit, cheap shot on the field. I want you to remember this story. Just remember this. Like, put this in the back of your mind. The next time, next football season, when a guy is knocked out by an illegal helmet-to-helmet hit, and try to add up what the fines for that are going to be and compare those fines and or those suspensions, there won't be any, compare that to a $350,000 prank call of which nobody was deceived and it was laughed off.